here. We're back. We're ready. Let's go, baby.
Let's do it.
That's how we hit this thing going at the Heights Unedited Podcast, a podcast featuring real conversations about real life where we dig deeper into the weekend message, as well as answering your questions on faith, culture, and life. And we got a great show for you today. Super excited. If you don't know who I am, my name is Todd, aka the Bald Eagle. I forgot to wear my name tag.
Ooh. That's all right. We'll get through it.
We'll make it. We'll make it work. And I'm here with Pastor Jordan. What's up?
What's happening? Stoked to be here.
This is going to be a fun one because not only did we miss last week, which I want to apologize to everyone for last week not having an episode. That was because I was out of town. That's literally the only reason we didn't have an episode.
We got to take time off, right?
Yeah. And so apologize to everyone for that. But we're going to make up for it today because it is a super fun episode. And part of the fun is we got a kids pastor here with us.
Yes, sir. Hey, I got a question. If I keep doing these, do I get a nickname or a stage name?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Just wondering.
Yeah. I don't know how many episodes you have to be on before you get a name, though.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
This is one, so.
Yeah, we'll see. Once we get to it, we'll let you know. That's good. But we do have some good stuff. But before we hop into all of that, I want to let you listeners know where we're headed today. Exciting content, great questions that we're going to dive into in a second. But also, if you were at church this last weekend, it was Father's Day.
Yeah.
Did you have a good Father's Day?
I did. Yeah. Ate some carne asada, hung out with some fam.
There we go.
Watched a golf tournament,
Okay. There you go.
Father stuff.
That's what you do on Father's Day. It was awesome. Yeah. At church, what we did is we had some giveaways, and we had quite a few men in our church enter these giveaways. A list of the giveaways that we have over here off to the side. Really, really good stuff. And so we will be choosing live right here the winners of those. And so we have a randomizer. I'll hit the number. Number correlates with a name, and we'll let you know who's won what. So stick around for that. That's going to be happening at the end of this episode. But as we hop in right now, for a lot of us that maybe don't get down to H4, which is where our kids ministry is on a weekend.
It's the happening spot.
It is definitely the happening spot. Give us a peek into what happens on a weekend in H4. What's kids ministry all about?
Yeah. So as you come in and just greeted by friendly staff and serve team, we just want to make families feel like they are welcomed and they belong. And so that's just kind of been the heart of our ministry for new families, for existing families. And we just believe that if we win the kids, that the parents will bring them. We actually had a situation this week where a kid was like, I want to go to church. And her other daughter was sick. And she's just like, I just left her in the car real quick so I can bring them in. And I got to get my kid to church. So just that, we see that over and over again where kids just want to be there.
That's so awesome. It's even cool though when parents are like, well, actually I didn't want to be here, but my kid dragged me. Right. It's like, man, how cool is that the kid is bringing the family to church?
Absolutely. And so we just see that, kids wanting to go to church, and it just motivates us and encourages us as a staff and team. And then, when we get there, we're, preaching the gospel, and we have worship. We have our large group time.
Worship looks a little different than it does in an adult setting.
It does. Yeah. It's a little more upbeat. If you want to come down and, just get your heart rate up, and
it'll bring you back to your clubbing days. Right. It's really loud. More, a lot of jumping.
Yeah. A little jumping. It's more jazzercise-ish,
There you go. What was that guy's name?
Richard Simmons.
Yeah. Richard Simmons, the guy that had the sweat. And
yeah.
Do you wear sparkly stuff like that too?
No.
Okay.
No. I keep it good.
Okay. Under wraps. Not so
nothing
much.
too crazy. And we have small group times where they can just dig in a little more and just build relationships with the leaders there, and just have real conversations. And we have activities and do crafty things, and it's a good time. Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know that a lot of the kids, they do love it so much that they're like, man, I can't wait to go to church. It's super fun. But it's not just about fun. You talked about, we preach the gospel. We have opportunities for kids to dig in and have the small group time to discuss it, to talk about it, all that. Why is kids ministry so important in the life of the church? It's not, and I will be the first to say this, it is not childcare.
No.
It is Jesus on their level. So, unpack that more. Why is kids ministry so important for our church?
Yeah, well, we begin to preach the gospel, right? And they get to understand it. And it's not just, oh, Jesus loves you, but it is the gospel, right? That you are in need of a savior, that we are all fallen. And they get to understand that even at a young age.
Mhm.
And so be able to just begin to articulate that and have ownership of their faith, take that into their families, take that into their friends and school places. And so we just talk about that a lot of times. Where does that, what context are you in? Are you in your sports teams or, whatever activities you're doing to go and be a light in the world? And so that just beginning to plant that seed of discipleship and growing, and obviously the parents play a role in that, right? We want to encourage parents. We partner with parents. That's part of our vision. But Sunday's really where we get to lean in and begin to build that with those kids.
Yeah. And it's awesome. I mean, my kids have all, some of them have gone through kids ministry. Some of them are still on the front side of kids ministry. So they'll spend a lot more years there, but just to see
now they're serving
what they're,
awesome.
And they're serving. Yeah. Like just to see their growth though, and what they've, learned and then what they're doing with it. I think one of the things that's so cool about kids ministry is in the adult services, I can stand on stage, Pastor John, whoever, and say, man, invite your neighbors.
Yeah.
And maybe some people will. In kids ministry, we have kids every week that are reaching their world, their school, their sports teams, whatever, and inviting people to church and telling them about Jesus. And there's just this like reckless abandon of like, we have all these barriers where kids are like, no, man, Jesus is awesome. I'm going to tell someone about him.
Yeah.
And I think that's so cool.
It is so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Just the evangelistic side of it too, that they're proud of where they go to church. Right. And they're proud of the Jesus that they serve, and they get to, just excited about what's happening, and they want other people to be a part of it. It's cool.
Yeah. That's super cool. All right. Well, we do have some questions that we're going to hop into today, but before we hop into these questions, you may or may not know this about this podcast. We are unofficially sponsored by Oreo. Because we've had many
I've seen
Oreos.
A few of those come on.
Yeah.
Good thing I have some water.
Yeah. So we've brought up plenty of different kinds of Oreos. We've had, the one that stood out to us a lot was the Post Malone Oreos. We love them.
Those are good.
I did not know that Oreo made this like a thing.
Are we going to save one for John? Is like,
we should. But I thought Post Malone Oreos was the extent of it. Apparently there's other ones. And so somebody gave us this. And so we have some Selena Gomez Oreos.
They have the initials on the cookie.
I had no idea that they even existed. So I don't know. We're going to have to get into these. We do, just random taste tests. That's a part of this podcast too. Oh, these are going to fly everywhere. Oh. All right. Go ahead and grab one.
Yep. Let's see.
Yeah,
there they are.
Yeah, it's like, they smell good. Oh, I do get a little cinnamon on the. See that?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
See what you got.
Do you put the whole thing in?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm not a biter.
What if I don't like it? Well, you're just going for it.
Well, sorry.
Yeah. Everyone gets to hear the sound of you crunching now. The facial expression, you're not giving me anything in your facial expression to know if it's good or not.
It's different. It's good though.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
almost like, remember Teddy Grahams?
Teddy Grahams are good.
Yeah. Cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
You getting that taste?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely Teddy Graham vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the chocolate ones. Remember the chocolate Teddy Grahams?
Very good. Here's the thing.
I couldn't do another one of those.
Not as good as Post Malone Oreos.
No.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if I've had those.
I don't even know. I don't know. Glad that I experienced this. Don't know if I'd go back for a second.
No.
Even a second Oreo. We'll have to see. The beard, you can take some. I'm going to pass them over to him, and we'll continue this, but I'm going to get a thumbs up or thumbs down from him on what he thinks as well.
Yeah, Oreos, you could, I don't know Post Malone, but original Oreos, double stuffed, I feel like you can eat like a whole row, right?
Oh, a whole row, for sure. Yeah. That's why they come in threes. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It's a holy trinity. You got to eat them all, you know?
Like you couldn't just eat one, right? Yeah. Those are like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's got to be more like a one. Yeah. David, aka the Beard, has a very refined palate, so he's over there right now, like dissecting the multiple flavors and Dunkaroos. I do remember those. Definitely giving us the Dunkaroo vibes. I love that.
No.
That's good. Well, for any of our listeners or viewers, keep giving us Oreos, I guess. I don't know what else to say with that. We've become the place for it. Selena Gomez, you don't design an Oreo as well as Post Malone, but valiant effort. I appreciate that.
Huh.
And thanks for heading that in. We're going to hop into some questions, though. And I'm excited about this because today we get to follow kind of one train of thought all the way down. And usually we have multiple questions from multiple viewers, listeners who are submitting those questions. Well, this is one person that has submitted this question and kind of takes us on this journey. And we're going to kind of walk through this with him. Anthony has written in a series of questions, and he sets it up with this. I've been spending time in Proverbs recently, and it's been tugging on my heart when it comes to influence, relationships, and walking in wisdom. I have longstanding friends from my old life that I care deeply about, but many of them mock faith or treat sin as almost bragging rights. Proverbs is pushing me to evaluate my relationships and how I treat them. Okay. So in that vein, I think this is going to help so many people today walk this and navigate it, because I think a lot of us have asked these questions before. And so framing it up with that, the first question is how do you stay close to people from your past without being pulled back into who you used to be?
Yeah. First, I just want to say, Anthony, I mean, good job on just thinking through this, right? Just reading and seeing like where your heart's being moved and pulled, and your heart for your friends, and just even thinking through these questions. Sometimes we just don't, right? And so just to ask this question and diving into it, is just showing maturity and humility in that, and saying, hey, I want to honor God, but I also love my friends. Like, how do I, go balance that? And so, as I was thinking through this, and I think it's just where our hearts are at too. And like, are we being transformed by those people?
Yeah.
Or are we helping to transform them, right? It's that like we are so influenced by who they are that we kind of change when we're around them, or we're being influenced in a negative way, or are we being the influencers in that? So I think that's just kind of the first vein of thought of like, okay, when I jump into these friends or group of friends, what does that look like?
Yeah, I'm like getting pulled back. And I think it's probably really important for us to note that I think a lot of us that think we're close with people mix up common activities, right? And so the hard thing is if you had common activities, say the common activities were drinking or smoking or something like that before you were saved, and then you get saved and you're like, well, it's hard to hang out with them because that's all we do. And I think we get mixed up and defining like closeness as a friend. So man, I'm really, how do you stay close to people from your past? Closeness doesn't just mean same activities. And I think we mix up people who we do things with and people who actually know us. So ask yourself or I think all of us need to ask ourselves when it comes to our friends, like, if this activity didn't exist, would we still be friends? Because if it doesn't, I don't think it's necessarily real friends. It's just people that enjoy doing the same thing. And so I think sometimes when it comes to our past, it's like, man, well, I don't do those things anymore, therefore we can't be friends. It's like, well, were you even really friends? Like, were you actually close to them, right? So I think it depends on your definition of close, because I would say true close friends means intimate, not in a sexual sense, but intimacy is sharing pieces of yourself that you can, let someone into, not just, man, we really love watching baseball games together. Right?
Well, then I think in that same idea is that if you have a mind shift in your thinking, or you become a believer, right? And you're like, man, I know that I shouldn't be living this way of life, or whatever that looks like, and your friends aren't, and you go around them and you're like, hey, I can't, or I don't want to do that. That's not me anymore. If they're just like brushing you off, or making fun of you, or it's like you're saying, like, is that even truly your friend? Right? And not that we ride them off, but maybe there's a friendship changes, right? Just because of where we're at and what we're really pursuing. And it's going to look different, right? It's not going to be the same, which is okay.
Yeah. And I would say with this first question, how do you stay close without being pulled back into it? I would say that not all time spent is created equal. So you can spend a lot of time with someone and not spend a lot of quality time. So I would say, how do you stay close with someone? Is you spend intentional quality time.
Yeah.
So if an hour over coffee where you really dig into caring for them and asking about their life and getting in the deep part, you leave and go, man, I feel really close to that person, as opposed to, hey, I golfed with them for 2 days straight and it was, 8 hours spent together, but we never got below the surface.
Yeah.
There's a different level. So I think you can stay close without spending so much time with someone that they will continue to influence you or pull you in a negative way as well. So, okay. So following this train of thought, then question number 2 here is, what's the difference between being a light in a dark place and slowly dimming your own flame?
Well, I was looking up 1 Corinthians 15:33, right? And bad company ruins good morals. And so I think that, like, who are we surrounding ourselves with? And are we going to be influenced in that?
Yeah.
And are they going to change us, right? Are we a young Christian? Are we spending more time with maybe some people that aren't Christians or non-Christians? Do we have a community of follower believers around us that we're living life with that are helping us grow and mature in our faith? And so I think that those, like, real foundational things in our life will be a difference maker in how we spend time with those people and what that looks like, and whether we're going to be a light in that darkness or our light is going to be, quenched, and we're going to now want to give into darkness and sin.
Yeah. Well, I think of like a campfire that as it starts dimming, right? What do? You add more fuel to it, right? You add more wood. So I think my first thought on this is, like, what do your personal rhythms look like?
Yeah.
Because if you're not going in bright, like, we have to have what you said is foundation. We have to have foundation. Well, if our foundation isn't our personal rhythms that we've already put in that morning, or our regular in our life, man, we have regular time with God. We have regular time in His Word. We have regular prayer time. We have regular community of people that are going to build us up.
Yeah.
Well, when you have those things, you stay bright when you go into dark places. And it's not the dark place that necessarily dims it. It's a lack of fuel that dims it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, man, what are you doing to fill yourself in order to stay bright in those and not allow it to be dimmed? And I think the other part is just self-awareness. Like, what areas are you compromising?
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Like, man, if I'm in this situation, like, what areas do I find myself like starting to compromise? And, that makes it really difficult.
Yeah.
When you go, yeah, I do see myself slipping.
Yeah. Or I think even also where your heart's at in that moment, right? Are you, man, I'm in a bad place, or spiritually I'm just not doing well? Or are you more prone to want to go, oh, I want to hang out with those guys, right? And so just I think just recognizing, being a little bit more self-aware of where you're at, and going, okay, like, I've been struggling lately. Those probably aren't the guys, even though it's comforting. Those probably aren't the people that I should be jumping in with, right? It should be the brother or sister, whoever it is, to jump in and go, like, this is what I'm struggling with. Like, can you walk with me and encourage me?
Yeah. And dude, the truth is, though, this is real. Like, when we're hanging out with people. So for instance, I coach baseball at the college and at the university, and just spending time with these guys at practice, stuff that the words that come out of my mouth or pop into my head to say that wouldn't have before. Like, I have enough filter to stop them before they come out, but I'm like, why is that popping into my head? Well, that's what I'm hearing for hours a day, multiple days in a row. Like, there is the influence of the people around us is true. There's no way I'm going to sit here and go, well, no, I'll just be stronger than the influence. Like, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But we have to do exactly what you just said and make sure that we're surrounding ourselves not only with things that are going to pull us away, but also making sure our fuel source is built up with the things that are building us up, not just pulling us away as well.
Yeah.
And not becoming dim, like this question states here. Continuing again on the same line with this, right? I love this, just rapid fire on the same line of
I hope
thoughts
I don't
here.
repeat myself too much.
I know. Well, but and I think that's where we see themes rise to the top of go, man, that's really important. And if it's something we've talked about. Question 3 here says, Proverbs warns us against walking with fools. How do we apply that wisely without becoming prideful or writing people off? That's such a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just the humility in it, right? Like, I think for us, understanding the grace that we have been given, right?
Right.
When I look at the cross, there's no pride there. It's like, man, the worst of me has been spoken at the cross, and I have rebelled against God, right? I am the one, my sin put him there.
Mm-hmm.
And so being in the midst of sinners and being, with other people that maybe aren't followers of Jesus doesn't make me go, oh my gosh, they're horrible people and they're going to hell, right? Like, I'm going, man, like I need to love them like Jesus, right?
Yeah.
I need to give them the same grace that maybe I've been given or that I have been given.
Yeah.
And so I think that like minimizes, it's still there, right? Like there's things that I think we just because of our own sinful nature, right? Things that you have to fight against, just even as Christians, right? Mature Christians to go, man, like this person or family or whoever I feel like is doing something wrong or not being above reproach in that area. And you're so quick to like judge them or say something or lash out at family, you and I have talked about that a lot, but so I just think reminding yourself of the grace that you've been given is huge.
Yeah. I think anytime you separate, like they're the fools and I'm not, you realize like, yeah, no, we're all fools and in need of Jesus. Like, and without him, we're nothing. Right. So when we start looking at those, I would also say that on this one specifically, like how do we apply that wisely without becoming prideful or writing people off? I would say like, who else is your influence? Like what we'd said before. Yes, this verse is so true. Walking with fools is not good, but fools are going to happen. They're everywhere. But if it's only fools that you surround yourself with, you're going to have a problem. You have to have multiple levels of friends speaking into your life and influencing your life. So yeah, you can be influenced negatively, but you can also be influenced positively. And if you have a group of people around you that are, building you up, it gives you a lot more leeway to be with people that aren't going to build you up. Yeah. And it's not necessarily walking with them. I know what this says, like walking with fools. I think that's like when you surround yourself only with people like that.
Yeah.
But I think there has to be both. And one's not better than others. That's where the pride piece comes in. Yeah. These are my good friends. These are my bad ones. No, these are just the friends who don't know Jesus yet. Yeah. There's just I think that, but man, I definitely have understand the proverb warning us against walking with fools because I've become a fool with walking with some fools before,
Yeah. We become who we surround ourselves with, right? And we're not, and I think going back to the beginning, right? If we're not, and our hearts are not in the right place, and we're not doing our spiritual disciplines like you talked about, we're not worshiping Jesus, we're not meditating on his word, I think we're just more prone to go back to our old ways, right? It's easy to slip into that if we're not being diligent in those disciplines to keep our hearts pointed towards Jesus.
Yeah, I would agree. And along that, the Bible talks to us about guarding our heart. And that's what this next question is. In Proverbs 4:23, it talks about guarding your heart. And Anthony asked this, what does it look like to guard your heart while still being relationally present?
Yeah, I think the first one kind of goes hand in hand with this is just, are we loving the people, or are we conforming to, what they're doing? Right? Like,
relationally present again. Yeah, I think it's the definition of that. Is that saying like, well, I got to engage in the behavior that they're engaging in to be present with them. And that's where I would say I disagree.
Yeah.
And if those people, it goes back to, again, I really care about them and they care about me. Well, if they really do, then they're not going to force you to be doing those things either. Right. And you can be with people that are engaging in behavior that you do not support and not engage in that behavior as well.
Yeah.
Jesus was a prime example of that, right?
Yeah.
Like Jesus walked with sinners. Jesus hung out with prostitutes. That doesn't mean he was engaging in behavior with prostitutes.
Yeah.
Jesus was present with them. So I think you can be relationally present without engaging in the behaviors that are happening. So just to define that, when it says that, what does it look like to guard your heart while still being relationally present? I think you can still be relationally present with just guardrails to make sure that you stay following Jesus.
Yeah. And I'd say too in that, like, what is our conversations, right? Is it the whole time we're there, like telling the loving thing isn't to be like, oh, you're doing this wrong, or why are you doing that? Or like them feeling judged, right? I think they already know. A lot of times when you hang out with non-believers, there is they know that who you are and what you stand for. And so just even your presence there, right? Like I want to be around you because I love you, right? I'm not here to tell you all the things that you're doing wrong or you shouldn't do. You know where I land on that and what I think. And so I think that's the loving part too of just being like, hey, I just want to be with you, right?
Well, and how do you? Here's a question I have. Then, I think I don't know about you, but I have friends where it's like they know where I stand. But when you're with them, how do you keep from, I guess, almost reacting when they would mock or make fun of those things? Not in a, and I want to say mock and make fun of, not in an aggressive way, but more of a joking way, right? Like if you're friends that you would, well, Jordan's not going to do this, but like, oh, well, Jordan's stuffy this or stuffy that, or like, oh, you're too holy for this or something like that. Like how would you handle that? And like, what advice would you give to someone who's kind of going like, yeah, I'm going to abstain from those things with them when I'm with them, but it's not going to go without me hearing from them about it.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the way that I approach those is like, I just kind of shrug my shoulders. I'm like, whatever. Like that's how you see it. Right. And that's part of a heart that's not transformed. Right. And that's for me to go, okay, that's fine. I can take that, right? Like, we're going to experience persecution as Christians, right? And so if somebody wants to make fun of me for not partaking or doing something that they do, and I'm just not going to engage in that, then that's okay. I think I can, endure that. And hopefully I don't lash out or say something, that I shouldn't.
Right.
But I think a lot of times it's like, I just shrug my shoulders and just go, okay, cool. That's your opinion, whatever, or that's how you feel. It's unfortunate, but
yeah. I definitely would agree. I think it's just, being able to say, no, this is what I believe in. Hey, I still love you. I don't care. Like, I'm not here to judge you guys. Just, I personally am not, that's not where I'm at. Don't judge me as I won't judge you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This might be a little bit off topic, but I played pickleball the other day, a couple weeks ago, and I met a guy, first time ever, and we were playing or whatever, and just got to hear his story and stuff. And so the next week we show up, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going? How's your game? How's life?" And I was like, "Oh, life's good. Pickle game was a little rough. I had the yips on my serve, and so he's like, "Oh, and I'm like, "How are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm doing good. I'm about to get in," and I won't say it online, but he's getting into some questionable things, and then he's like, "Oh, last night I did this," and I was like, in drugs and stuff, and I was like, "Oh," and he like looked at me. I was like, "What?" Because I had to ask what it was.
Yeah,
and he goes, "You don't take me as somebody that is into that," and I was like, "Nope, no, that's." I was like, "I get my endorphins in other ways, like mountain biking, skydiving, rock climbing." So it was a cool moment though that I just was like, bro, like share your life with me. You're not a Christian. Like, you're going to do you. I was like, I get to build a relationship with you.
Right.
I'm not judging you. And then like 10 minutes later, he asked me what I did for a living. So
that's the worst question as a pastor.
No, but it was cool. Cause I go, you know what, bro? Like, I'm going to be like, I'm not going to hide it. And I was like, but I get to go there and, we say what's up to it and talk to each other. And, and so having those moments where he doesn't feel judged, but I go, dude, I'm going to love you and I'm going to be on this journey with you. And maybe one day you'll see the way that I live and the way I'm out here and you'll want to ask questions about it.
Dude. And that a lot of times you don't see it until way down the road.
Yeah.
For me, it's even happened a little bit recently. It was the guys that I played baseball with back when I was playing. I didn't realize the view that they had of me because I was a Christian and I was a part of the team. I was friends with them, but I didn't engage in the behaviors that they did and talk the same way that they did for a lot of times. But I wasn't necessarily judging them either.
Yeah.
It wasn't until years later when I would hear from them that they would say, "Hey, man, you really had an impact." And I'm like, "But I never. What do you mean?"
Yeah.
Like, and I think the impact that we have speaks a lot more of the care and love we have for people, not the I engage in the same things you do.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, no, that's super good. And I think that's, being relationally present while we still guard our hearts as well. So, okay. Question 5 that he has here, which again, if I've already said this 10 times, I'm gonna say it again. I love this, that we just continue to walk through the same topic because it's one that people need. So the question is this: can real spiritual growth happen if we stay closely tied to people who dishonor God, or does wisdom eventually require some separation?
Both.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think just going back to like your spiritual disciplines, right? Are you maintaining those? Are you being faithful in those? Are you growing? Personally in your spiritual walk, to where you can enter into those conversations or have those relationships? But if you're being complacent, if you're engaging in what they're engaging in, right, we're going to eventually fall away and you're going to give into those things.
Yeah, I would say some separation. Yes. There needs to be some separation, because the truth is that when somebody is not a believer and you are, there is a level of, back to that intimacy piece, relational intimacy, that cannot be achieved because there's a piece of you that they will never know until they know Jesus.
Yeah.
And you cannot connect on a spiritual level with somebody if they do not believe the same thing you do spiritually.
Yeah.
And so there has to be some separation. Yes, because there's a part of you that they will never know. And so there has to be that. But that's where I would also say define closely, right? In this question, it's, can spiritual growth happen if we stay closely tied? Define closely tied.
Yeah.
Because is closely tied replicating everything that they do and living the same life that they do? Or is closely tied, man, I care about you and I'm still going to, follow up with you and reach out to you and text you a couple times a week to tell you that I'm thinking about you?
Yeah.
Or is closely tied like, man, we do everything together and they know every piece of me, but they actually don't if they don't know Jesus too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it is that both and we have to define close, because real spiritual growth can happen not through other people. It happens through your relationship with God. So yes, real spiritual growth happens regardless of who's around you. However, the influence of who's around you can push you towards Jesus or pull you away. And there does come a piece of wisdom, like this question says, that eventually requires some separation.
Yeah.
And I would say yes.
I love what you said too, just about like there's a part of us, right, as Christians that they won't be able to, the intimacy that's not there.
Yeah.
I just think of a buddy of mine back in California who I met him through our church out there, and we just started meeting together. And on the surface, you'd go, "Oh, we shouldn't like be friends at all," right? Like CPA, just really neat guy. I'm a jock, like we're just totally like separate areas, but we have such good conversations and life-giving conversations because of our love for Jesus and the gospel. And so when we get together, it's like, man, we can just pick back up and do life together and have real, like, authentic conversations. They're not the, like, oh, I haven't seen them in months or years, and it's super superficial, right?
Yeah.
We're like, with him, it's like, dude, we jump in. It's like, and how are you doing with your wife? How are you doing with your kids? Like, just really diving in.
And I would say too, this is a little bit off topic on this one, but man, I would say when it comes to this, it's not just friendships. This is why the Bible talks so specifically when it comes to romantic relationships to be equally yoked. And that term obviously is a yoke put on ox that are plowing a field at the same rate. So if you're unequally yoked, you as somebody that's not going to plow, the ox is not going to, they're not moving at the same speed. They're not even moving in the same direction maybe.
Right.
And man, that's what the relational picture that Jesus gives us when it comes to a romantic relationship is, man, there's pieces. If intimacy is what our goal in marriage is which it should be, and that encompasses a lot of things: physical intimacy, emotional, and spiritual. You will never have spiritual intimacy with someone that you are not equally yoked with, which is why it's so important. It's not another list of rules. It's Jesus on a practical level going, hey, I want you to experience the biggest level of intimacy.
Yeah.
And you never will spiritually if this person is not on the same level as you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the thing that's at stake too, right? My relationship with Jesus, right? You're like, man, I want to grow in that. And so if you have to weigh friends to go, man, at the end of the day, man, these people are just bringing me down, to go, maybe there is separation that needs to take place.
Yeah.
Right. For a season or whatever. And like you had talked about, like, man, I never knew Todd was, a Christian or a pastor on your baseball team. And years later, they maybe will be like, reach out to you and get, hey, I have questions, I want to know like what you believe. And, I want to sit down and, because they're going to be the first person that you go back to, right? Or, man, I know that he's a believer and like he was willing to not sacrifice or give, leeway to these things. He really believes it and wants to live into it.
Yeah. Yeah. And just, following up with what we've said over and over with this too, is like, the separation doesn't necessarily mean don't hang out, but if your hangout was the bar and you always got in trouble when you did that, then maybe go get coffee instead.
Yeah.
And you don't have to not hang out with them. You don't have to not spend time with them. But there's maybe some activities that are associated with spending time with them that isn't really them. It's more the activity.
Yeah.
And you know what? If your friendship is only built on the activity, then that's not a real friendship.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's good.
Good stuff. Any other thoughts on this? I mean, Anthony, thank you so much for writing this in. Thank you to everyone who's written in questions. We have some questions a little bit that we will get to in more episodes later.
Yeah.
If you've written those in, we will get to those. Thank you guys for that. But also looking anytime for more questions. So if you would love to submit those, or you have things you're just thinking about, man, I want to dig deeper into this, go ahead and submit those unedited at heightschurch.com. We'd love to answer your questions on the air as well. Anything else you want to add here?
No, Anthony, thank you for the questions, and keep just digging in, man, and just following Jesus and reading his word and spiritual disciplines and asking, for prayer in that, and just surrounding yourself with believers and just cultivating those relationships.
All right. Well, if you are one of our listeners that only tuned in today for one thing and one thing only, and it was giveaways, it is now the time. And if you scrubbed in this like to this point and you didn't actually listen to the episode, like, we love you. We just don't like you. So, but you can listen to the episode. All right. So here's how this is. I got a number randomizer. We have 291 entries into this. So you have a few chances out of 291 to win this. And so we have a few things to give away here. I have a list of things that we are giving away. But
are we giving all these away today?
We're drawing all these today. Yeah. We're going to have to rapid fire some of these, including a 70-inch 4K smart TV.
I saw that. How did he get that up here? That's a big boy.
I don't know how he carried that up the stairs. I'm not quite sure. But let's start with, what do you got over there for us?
This looks like a putter, a little mallet head putter.
Do you know what to do with one of those?
I've never hit a mallet head, but looks like it could be, got a little bit of a, what would we call that? I don't know. I'm not.
Wow, you're really selling this thing.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I'm glad that everyone stayed this late.
It's got
long
lines to line up your ball. It's called the Gamer, so.
All right, well, we got the Gamer Align Golf Putter right here from Top Flight.
Top Flight.
From Top Flight. All right, so
says more about it.
You can figure that out right now. I'm going to pick a number because that's what we're waiting for right now. So here we go. Number 129. 129. The beard. Let us know who's our winner. Rob Glasson, congratulations. Right. You have won yourself a Top Flight Gamer Align Golf Putter.
Check it out.
There it is. Right there. It's probably not focused as you pulled it up to there. But
nailed it.
Perfect.
Right.
Got it.
Put
All
that
right.
down so
Rob, you win. Good job. The beard, are you keeping track of these so we know? All right. Perfect. All right, here we go. I'm going to give away next right now. We have a fishing rod and reel and
Fishing
bait
rod.
combo.
Are you fishing?
Shakespeare spin cast. No, I've been fishing one time in my life.
Yeah. My
That's
brother
it.
used to take me, and I was like, dude, if I don't catch anything for in an hour, I'm out.
Yeah.
Horrible.
No. Okay. Well, hopefully whoever wins this is excited about it because
Yeah.
number 36. What do we got?
36. What?
Abe.
Abe.
Our good buddy Abe. There we go. Is that our winner? All right. Good buddy Abe is the winner of this one. Appreciate it. Love it. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
There you go. He won a Shakespeare spin cast fishing rod, reel, and bait combo.
Who is that? A bait caster? It's
You
about
know
all, little
Sounds really good. Okay. We got another giveaway right here. We have the Titan 26 can backpack cooler.
Oh,
The cooler. That's how the beard says cooler.
26 can.
26 can. That's a lot of cans right there. Cans of soda and soda only. All right. And number 73, who do we have?
Number 73 is Larry Plaster.
Larry Plaster is our winner of
All right,
the Titan
Larry.
26 can backpack cooler. Congratulations to you.
Why
All right.
26 cans, by the way?
Nebo Slide King 500 lumen flashlight provided by Sunbelt Rentals. Thank you, Sunbelt Rentals, for providing that. We have
We do commercials
this
now?
flashlight right here. Beard, it says 2 next to it. Are we giving away 2 of those flashlights?
Oh.
Both of them go to the
Ooh,
winner.
you
All right,
get
here we
2.
go.
Package of 2.
Number 286.
Okay.
286.
Yeah.
2 flashlights right here. Octavio Robles. Winner,
Congratulations.
chicken dinner. Give
Yes.
yourself those 500 lumen flashlights. There it is. I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. We got a Craftsman 20 volt drill and driver combo.
Mm.
Craftsman 20 volt drill and driver combo. Giving
Okay.
that away to number 34.
Number 34, Jeremiah Sawyer.
Jeremiah Sawyer is the winner of the Craftsman 20 volt drill and driver combo. Congratulations, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
You're going to love that thing.
Build some stuff.
Build some stuff. Okay, we got another one we're going to give away. This is a DeWalt 20 volt drill driver
the
combo
combo.
provided. Oh, I got this one. They were
yeah.
supposed to give this to me to
Dude,
boom right here. Is that the one?
That's
the
a good one. Yeah.
Look at this thing. I would love to win this because the one I have was like $12 off of Amazon.
Is it?
And it literally put a hole in my wall the other day because it's such like I tried to screw something in and it just like poof. So this would be amazing. All right.
Brushless.
So
It's a good one.
this is quality stuff right here. Provided by Sunbelt Rentals again. Thank you for that. Go ahead and give me number 26.
26.
26.
Does that have 2 batteries on it? That's pretty good.
Yeah. This is a good one.
That's a good combo.
Austin McCouston. There we go. Sorry
Good
for
job.
butchering names here, but Austin, you just won yourself a drill.
Good job, Austin.
Good,
Congrats.
good. All right, we got 2 more giveaways. You want to push the generate button here?
Oh, yeah. Here we go. I get to do it. Go
ahead.
a little hot. Oh,
127.
127.
This person is getting Intex Excursion Pro K1 inflatable kayak. Ooh, this is a good one.
kayak.
We're getting Terry Wolf. Congratulations, Terry Wolf.
Terry.
You just won a Pro K1 inflatable kayak.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be awesome for him. All right, and the last one right here, we have a Vizio 70-inch 4K smart TV provided by Hollis Brothers. They're very generous. Thank you so much for that.
It's a great.
All
I
right.
saw it in the box. Looks great.
I know. Did you enter into this, Mr. Beard?
No.
Yeah. Did you enter
No.
into this?
Yeah.
Neither did I. My kids are like, Dad, we want some of that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I can't pick it on air and be rigged if I win this thing. So didn't enter in either.
Todd just
Here we
goes
go. Number 200
200.
on the nose.
Yeah.
200 on the nose.
That'd be awesome
Who
if
is
they
it?
entered you in it.
I know. If you say my kid's name right now, Tim Gilly.
All right, Tim.
Tim, you win that 70-inch 4K smart TV. Boom, boom, bang. Thank you guys for playing.
Happy Father's Day.
The winners will be notified. If you didn't listen to the whole episode, though, you can't get the prize. I'm just kidding. I just threw that in there right there. You know how jealous John is going to be that we did giveaways, though, when he's not here, because he's been asking you to do giveaways from the second that we started this podcast, and here we are doing them on air. Thank you to Lee, who is our men's ministry director as well.
Yeah, thank you, Lee.
Making all this stuff happen. He is amazing at what he does. We're so blessed to have him, and also that he was able to get all this amazing stuff to bless some of the fathers in our church. So
good stuff.
Super, super cool. If you've made it this far, you need to know that you're part of the End of the Podcast Club. There we are. You even had to make it through Oreo tasting, giveaways, all the things, and you finally made it to the end. Thank you guys so much. If you are still with us, please subscribe, rate, review, share this with somebody. We appreciate you guys. You are what make this show happen. Final thought for you today is this: our relationship with Jesus is what matters most, and we have opportunities to be in relationship with other people. We have to allow Jesus to be the thing that leads those relationships. And if we find ourselves in a place that's pulling us away, we need to refocus and make Jesus the main thing. Thank you guys so much for being with us. We love you. See you next week.
See ya.